Hello everyone, I'm gonna demo a bit of Frontiers. So real quick, Frontiers is a game built on HYTOPIA. This is probably the first game that we built at least that really tries to shine and showcase what the engine's capable of in just a full game format. All of these systems have been built in probably a little under 2-ish weeks from scratch. So from the UI to all the game interactions and combat. Everything is pretty much built on top of the HYTOPIA SDK. The HYTOPIA SDK makes it super fast to do all this because there's a lot of really baseline, easy primitives to work with, but I won't get into that. But yeah, so this is Frontiers. The whole premise of the game is it's an MMO. It's intended to be a action adventure, so combat is live action. If you played like Dark Souls or Elden Ring, you'll feel right at home, but it won't be as hard. Nowhere near as hard. It's meant to be casual but engaging, and it has all the elements of an MMO. There's exploration. You have NPCs you can interact with. Some have just some lore, thematic dialogue. Others may have quests, and they show you with these little green indicators. All the mechanics you'd expect from a good MMO are there. I can swim. I can run around. I can fight, which I'll show later. I can buy items, sell items, trade, etc., etc., etc. So, yeah, let's just get into it. So, first quest, you get welcome to the fort. Ask what's going on. The premise is that you're an adventurer. You're coming to this land because there's some fog and it's destroyed everything, and you're basically trying to help figure out what's going on. In search of treasure and reward and all the great things for saving the day basically. So he basically tells you go into town, go find the Commander Mark, who's the guy who's pretty much in charge of keeping everyone safe. And you can see that our quest log got updated. This shows you your active quests you've completed. Little description of what the quest you've selected is over here, which one you're on, the objectives, what you need to do, and the rewards. So this is, pretty straightforward. Go into town, find this guy. Quest system is really made to kind of guide you, but not be super just like hold your hand. So you still do have to find people, but when you see them, it's pretty clear, like, oh, that's an interaction that is something important. They have that little exclamation point over their head, whereas other NPCs just not. They may have something else. So Commander Mark, we can see that he has some dialogue, he has some lore stuff, but quest dialogue or important things are always highlighted, and you can see it's got my little quest icon there. So gonna talk to him, go through a little bit of dialogue. He tells me about what's going on. Tells me I should go speak with people, and they'll teach me some stuff I need to know. So click that. Clicking that, it did a few things. Completed an objective, completed a quest, and I got a new quest. So yeah, we can see that my first quest got completed. If I look at my skills, I got some exploration experience for doing that quest. And now I'm on to the next quest. I need to find a few people, talk with them, and then come back to Mark when we're done. And for doing this, he's going to give me a dull sword, which is a better sword than what I have, some gold to get started, and it'll make me learn the lay of the town a little bit. So really basic MMORPG type mechanics, but the systems are all there, which is important, and we'll expand on and make this a lot more engaging, I think, now that they're there. So here's one of the people. This is Healer Mycelis. So again, quest dialogue. He says, I'm a healer, blah, blah, I fled from, this place called Sporwick. The corruption from the fog caused problems, blah, blah, blah. So cool, completed objective. I talked with him. I can look at my quest log. All right, did that. Got a few more things to do. And the whole thing with this is like trying to use these quests like any MMO would to kind of guide you to get a lay of the land, kind of get up to speed faster in the game. And like, as you can see, one of the rewards is a better sword, some gold and whatnot. And if I look at my items right now, I have a pretty shitty wood sword, so that'd probably be important. Let's talk to this guy. Said I should speak to you. Says I've got gear, blades, healing potions, whatever. And again, like merchant in town, you can buy items. Doesn't have a lot of items yet. Still need to finish working on that, but like can do all that. I can sell items to him too to get gold and whatnot. So yeah, pretty standard. Let's talk to our next guy. So telling us about the threats, what's outside the gate. Shitter Forest, got a bunch of these rat things that are, you know, pretty angry now and attack people, and yeah, telling us we should probably get some good weaponry to go out there. So completed that. Again, go back to my quest objectives. I see now it says speak with Commander Mark. I've already spoken with the others, so go back to him. And you can see the quest system automatically knows who you can and can't talk to, and for you specifically will show the icons over people's heads that, you know, like an MMO would. So yeah, I spoke to all these people, great work. Says take this old dull sword, better than that wooden training blade I have, here's some gold, and says you're ready for Shitter Forest, so cool. I got a few things from that, so I got some experience points, got a dull little sword, got some gold. Maybe we'll head over to the merchant with that gold and buy a healing potion before we go out into the wilderness. Oh, you'll also see there is a day-night cycle in this game. So the clock in the top right does correspond to the light in the day, and it will affect different elements of gameplay. I think a few other things before I go out and do some combat. This game's a little different than a traditional MMO. It's more like RuneScape, where you have two things. You have skill levels and you have global levels. Your global level is basically just like a combined all of your experience across all your skills you've gotten, and that affects basic things like, you know, how much extra health do you have based on your global level and a few other things. And then you have skill levels for different things you can do in the game. So exploring is, you know, explore the world, do quests. It unlocks new things, skills, tools to reach new areas, whatever. Bartering, so the more I buy and sell and trade with merchants, the cheaper stuff gets. I get new items unlocked I can buy and sell, stuff like that. Agility is pretty standard. In combat, just like if you played Dark Souls or Elden Ring, you can do time dodges, and the combat mechanics are really heavily built around that. By doing time dodges and executing them successfully, you gain agility experience on the spot. That increases your overall evasion, so you're less likely to get hit by stronger attacks. It can very tiny up your movement speed, unlocks new perks, stuff like that. Foraging, so this is kind of like that random item in the wilderness mechanic that a lot of MMOs have that we like, where you can, while you're out in the wilderness, you'll see in a second, you can find items and forage them, and they give out, you know, different things you can collect. It's kind of like a little, you can think of it like treasure chests, and you never know what you're going to get. That's foraging. If you played MMOs, you're probably familiar. There's a farming mechanic, so out in the wilderness, you'll get things called seeds. Later in the game, pretty early on in the game, you can use some gold you've gotten to buy a tiny little farm plot and use that to farm crops, plant crops, and then harvest them after enough real in-game time has gone by, and you can use that to sell items back to the merchant. Get special items you can only get from farming, use them for supplies for quests, and grow your farm too. So that's kind of a core mechanic built in. Combat, pretty self-explanatory. Go fight stuff, kill stuff, gain experience. So yeah, we'll go into the wilderness now. It is dark, which is never fun, but that's all right. So yeah, this is kind of the first area in the game. You'll see now I have this dull sword. It's a lot better than this training sword, so we're going to use a dull sword. I can just switch to it in my hotbar. You can see as I switch my hotbar, the items I'm holding change. We're going to go do some combat and kill some rats. You can see my dodge when I hit Q. And then the enemies are pretty smart. They're live action combat, so you can aggro them. You can lose aggro on them if you get far enough away. All the enemies have different behaviors. They will jump, they will trace you up, up like terrain and stuff if you try to run away. So they're pretty intelligent. And combat is pretty simple to start. Left click to hit, and then you can try and dodge to time your attacks to time your dodges like that. You also have a special attack, which is an AoE knockback to start when you're using swords. And it's the spin that has a longer cooldown that you probably just saw me use. Yeah, enemies drop some stuff when you kill them, so use my healing potion real quick. And fight this guy. And yeah, it's pretty much the core loop for combat. It'll get more advanced and engaging as you go throughout the game, but it's pretty simple to learn in the beginning. Try and time your dodges and left click to hit. And better weapons will deal more damage because you get higher levels from doing other skill stuff. You'll have more HP, so you can go into more dangerous areas. There's gear in the game, which hasn't been added just yet, so that would help offset damage. Stuff like that. I'm going to try and get over to that. I think there's a log over here. Yeah, so this is an example of being able to forge an item. Try and dodge these guys. I might die. Can eat some of our mushrooms to get a little health back. Gonna forge this log. Cool, got some mushrooms, some seeds I could plant in my farm. Stuff like that. Let's look around, see if I can find any more logs before I turn this off. Let's try and get this. The thing with foraging too is we made it where once you start foraging, you're locked into the animation until you're done, which means that if you're trying to run through areas and just forage to loot items quickly, if there are enemies around and you're locked in the animation, you can basically get hit without being able to dodge. It's kind of intended so you can't game that system and just run around the forage and run out of the way while the forage is happening. Oh, here's some. Oh, I'm gonna die. Well, and that's it. So that is what Frontiers is so far. Respawned back in the start of the Chitterwood Forest. So yeah, that's pretty much the extent of the game at this moment. We'll continue building it, and yeah, I think hopefully maybe even tomorrow. I'm trying to, by the end of this week, get kind of this basic version 1 where people can play it and give feedback. But I think a lot of the core systems are there, core mechanics are there. This is all, again, it built on the HYTOPIA SDK. All of this code up to date, how it is now, as you just saw it, is available in the HYTOPIA SDK examples GitHub repository. You can build on top of it, build your own MMO with it, do whatever you want. So it's all available there, ready to go. It'll continually be developed, and this is probably a game we're going to try and ship content for consistently over time, just to kind of be a sort of flagship demo of, hey, here's what's possible with HYTOPIA in a really polished and impressive state to attract developers. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and Frontiers will be available to play on both desktop and mobile devices soon through the HYTOPIA app or HYTOPIA website. So thanks.